is a massive, wide-ranging 800-plus page report that includes more than a dozen value-for-money audits into how the provincial government is spending your money. One of the sectors Auditor General Bonnie Lysyk turns her microscope on is health care, including the province's $1.6 billion cancer care system. She points out a few problems that persist. Wait times for diagnosis are too long, certain treatments are underused, and too many people are being sent on expensive trips to the United States. How have you felt about your cancer treatment?
It's excellent. I couldn't want for more. I'm at an advanced stage with metastases through my bones, but I am getting the best care I think I could.
For the most part, the province's Auditor General agrees that Ontarians with cancer are generally receiving quality care in a timely manner. But in her annual report, she points out a number of areas where the province is not meeting its targets and has been slow to respond to increased demand. One in particular is stem cell transplants. Dozens of patients have to be sent to the United States on the taxpayer's dime because of limited capacity to perform the procedure in Ontario.
The province's limited capacity to perform stem cell transplants was first identified as an issue in 2009. In the next 6 years, this issue led to excessive wait times and costly out-of-country procedures.
How costly? A stem cell transplant in Ontario costs about $128,000. In the United States, it's $660,000. The auditor estimates 171 patients will have to travel between 2015 and 2021 at a cost of $90 million. The Minister of Health says the government is spending $35 million more this year on expanding that service, but agrees more work needs to be done.
Our goal is repatriating those individuals, or rather ensuring that they don't need to travel out of province. But I think with stem cells, it's important to recognize as well is the science is changing really, really quickly. And so and this is a great story, a great situation to be in, that the indications for stem cell transplant are vastly more broad than they were even 5 or 10 years ago.
The other issues the auditor points out are in the area of wait times, for example, for biopsies, a crucial factor in diagnosing cancer. The ministry's target is that results should be available within 14 days. That only happens in 46% of cases. Also, radiation therapy targets are not being met. One of the big issues the Canadian Cancer Society and advocacy groups like CanCertainty have is with take-home drug treatments. Bonnie Lysyk points out in her report that there is inequity in the system. Patients who have their drugs administered in hospital have their costs fully covered, which is not the case for patients who take their drugs at home. Those patients are also facing safety issues and administrative delays, and they all agree that that must change. Coming up, we speak to the CEO of Cancer Care Ontario about this report. I'm Pam Seidel. We've been telling you about some of the issues contained in the Auditor General's annual report, which looks into government spending. Now, we've been talking about cancer care, but there are many other value-for-money audits in this report, including social and affordable housing. Bonnie Lysyk found that there are actually more people waiting for social housing units than actually live in them.
Our audit of social and affordable housing found that Ontario's social housing waitlist has increased 36% in the last 13 years. Challenges are also likely to increase in the medium term as contracts with housing providers offering below-market rents on 83,000 units have begun to expire and will continue to expire over the next 15 years. Despite this, however, we found there is no provincial strategy in place to address Ontario's growing social housing waitlist.
Now, the report was also critical of the number of cancer patients that have to go to the United States for stem cell transplants because we don't have the capacity here. Well, the CEO of Cancer Care Ontario tells me tonight they're working on it.
We're working hard and as quickly as we can with the Ministry of Health and partners across the province to expand the capacity for stem cell transplants in Ontario. That is occurring, and the wait list for stem cell transplants have come down really so that patients are receiving that care within our targets for receiving that care. It has meant that some patients have needed to go to the US for this treatment, but the number of patients that need to go to the US is dropping significantly as increased capacity comes on stream in Ontario.
Now, in fact, the Ministry of Health announced in the summer that 15 new stem cell transplant inpatient beds will be created at the hospital behind me, Princess Margaret, another 7 in London, but it's not clear if they've been opened yet.